or other savings at the bank, just not including your real estate, then grab your phone because I'm here to give you a hand with this. And I'll do it completely complimentary. We're starting the season of springtime, so we'll celebrate a little bit here. All right, especially in the greater Philadelphia community, great area to be this time of year. So we'll do some spring cleaning. How about that with our finances? We'll get it knocked out, especially before summertime rolls around, because then we're all going to be in vacation mode and want to hit the shore. Avalon, Sea Isle, Wildwood, great places to be. So let's knock this out beforehand. And we can do this over a couple of brief meetings, half-hour meetings, hour-long meeting. You can come visit me in my Radnor office if you like, the in-person thing. Or we can do this on a phone call or a Zoom call. My Radnor office is right off of Lancaster Ave, right behind the Radnor Hotel. But I'm finding that most people love the Zooms. You don't even have to leave your house or your office or sit in traffic. So the number to call now for a completely comprehensive financial plan, investment plan, retirement plan, from an income standpoint, the tax plan, the Roth plan, the RMD plan. I'm going to roll it all up into one big mega plan for you. And I'm going to do this for the next 5 people who call the number right now. So here's the number. It's 610-894-7415. Again, 610-894-7415. And when you call now, it's just going to be a couple of minutes on the phone with my receptionist. They'll set up a time for us to chat later this week so we can get started then. And look, there's enough chaos going on in the world. Let's bring some order. Let's bring some clarity to our own finances. Mm-hmm. And I'm here to help you with it. Again, one last time, 610-894-7415, Chris.
The phrase control what you can control comes to mind. Obviously, we can't control what the market is going to do geopolitically, weather-wise, as much as we'd love to control that. But if you put a plan together that knows that there will be these things that you will encounter over the course of your retirement and how to approach them, take them on, minimize the effects, and still create that income. Again, I can't think of a better way than to take Jim up on this offer. Be one of the next 5 callers, 610-894-7415, or you can go to the website, retirereadyfg.com. As always, I want to thank you for joining us right here on Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti. Really do appreciate you taking the time. Hope you have a great week ahead of you. Hope you enjoy some sunshine out there. Take care of one another. Jim, always appreciate the time. Thank you as well. As we wrap up, though, I'm going to leave you with the final word.
You got it, Chris. Always like to remind everybody to get that second opinion, especially around tax season now. A lot of people have tax questions, and we want to be proactive so we're not making some repetitive tax mistakes year after year. So everyone enjoy this weather, and looking forward to next time.
If you have questions or concerns about reaching your retirement goals, then give Retire Ready Financial Group a call, 610-894-7415, or visit online at retirereadyfg.com.
Investment advice offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, Pennsylvania Registered Investment Advisor, able to provide investment advice in states where it is registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness.
This program is paid for by Retire Ready Financial Group. All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Retire Ready Financial Group or their guests and do not reflect the views of WPHT or Odyssey. Today's program is pre-recorded.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Barry, Sable, and Friends on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Well, good morning. It's Sunday morning, and that means you've tuned into the Barry Sable Show with friends, of course, 1210 WPHT in Philadelphia. And yes, my friend Tom Azelby on Saturday mornings, 8 to 9. A fun listen to. Matter of fact, I'm going to have him on at around the 10:30 mark today. He and I speak quite a bit off the air, and there's always sparks when we're off the air. I have some things to question him on, so it'll be a kind of a cool interview. Also, at around the 10:15 mark, I will be having a Bob Lebovics on, who is running for U.S. Senate. Very important seat as far as I'm concerned, because he's going to then, if he was to win, or Alex Zidane, or Justin Murphy, or Richard Tabor. Incidentally, all three I tried to reach. They didn't get back to me. So it looks like Bob's going to be my guy today. Also, I want to wish everybody, I know it's raining outside. There's more rain. God is obviously crying, for God's sakes, on what's happening in the world and the country today. And he's letting us know it on this Memorial Day weekend. But nevertheless, I hope everybody is having a good time, whether they're here in the shore, at the mountains. It's a special time of the year. Summer's on its way. By the way, I am streaming live on YouTube. Kirk Cordless on the other side of the glass as my engineer. And call numbers. The call-in numbers, of course, 855-839, a simple 1210. So, the primaries are so important, whether it be in New Jersey or PA or in the country. These elections are critical in electing the best qualified candidates. And we've seen in the past so many what we'll call poor actors with no business experience or other critical skills. Can you imagine? Just consider our country is not, imagine it, it is, I'll get to the point in a minute, a corporation run by the Constitution. As an example, would you have AOC running a business for you? Would you hire her to be your corporate president? I don't think so. I personally think in politics, I don't know, maybe politicians aren't getting paid enough. From what I read the other day, which shocked me, I didn't know, that I think once they're in Congress or Senate, they get either salaries or benefits for the rest of their life, something like that. But I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe if someone's out there listening, they could call in and tell me. But I do mean the following. I believe you have to pay people indicative of the chores that they serve our country and the efforts that they serve. And I'm going to be talking to Azelby a little later about teachers and unions and insane asylums and other things that I'm going to pick on him, and you'll get a kick out of how we go. But nevertheless, maybe it would cause less pilfering, less corruption. I really don't know. So all I could tell you is that I'm looking, instead of band-aiding situations, to make situations right. And I don't see that happening in our country in any which way. So maybe I get a chance to pick Azelby's brain a little bit. On another topic, let me move forward. I want you to listen to this interview with Tucker Carlson that he had with a specialist on AI. Kirk, can we pull up clip 1?
We are so close to the scariest, most dystopian system.
to this.
This is what the drive to build all these thousands of data centers is about, to micromanage the world's population through the new financial world order. AI is really about that. We're heading towards digital control systems where we have no more control over our liquid assets. It will be programmable, permission-based, so only what the central planners allow you to use your money for, at what time and place and location will be permitted. And if you're in the wrong place, it's not going to work. And if you're buying the wrong book, it's not going to work. Your money won't work outside a certain zone, whether it's 15-minute prison zone or whatever it may be. It is the totalitarian dictator's dream come true.
Unbelievable. Isn't that scary to you? Well, it's a little frightening to me. I don't need anybody controlling my movements, knowing where I'm going or not going, controlling my bank accounts, telling me what I could spend money on, and controlling my life, period. I mean, that stuff is crazy. And I always say that technology outpaces mankind. So what happens here is we dummy down people. We see that going on in schools. We see that going on in colleges. I mean, honest to God. We rely on the government more than ever. Not all of us, but a lot of us. Are we really heading towards socialism? Then government and or supreme leaders will take over and control your lives. We've seen this happen in China. We've seen this happen in North Korea. We've seen this happen in Russia. Why do you think all these people want to get out of there and come here, successful or not successful? We have fled our country with poor immigrants. You know, Trump years ago said, it was pretty interesting, and he got spanked for it from obviously the left. If we're going to let people in this country, let's let people in this country who are professionals, attorneys, doctors, lawyers, accountants, nurses. Let's let those people in that are qualified. What do? We let a ton of people in this country, and what do they need? They need benefits. Why? Why are we doing this? This, to me, is an absolute recipe for disaster. Listen, the people, call it the middle class and above, they may not feel all these things as of right now. I'll be honest with you. I don't care about energy costs, gasoline costs costing a little bit more money. I could afford it. What do I care? It doesn't bother me. But the outcome of the war does bother me, and I want that to be a success story. So I'm willing to sacrifice a little. But the left makes it such a big deal. Oh, my God, energy costs. It's going to cost your fortune. This president doesn't care about you. This is caca. This is absolutely caca. This is not the way to operate a country with the left telling us about, let's talk about racism. Let's pull up that clip. May we, Kirk? Do we have that one?
We did a little bit of digging into Public Citizen, found two things. One is you're funded by George Soros, correct?
The Open Society Foundation is one of our funders, yes.
And you call just about everything you don't like racist.
That's right.
That is not true. But
okay, well, I'm going to give you a few examples.
Sure.
Mr. Schmidt,
on December 11th, 2019,
Schmidt.
Public Citizen tweeted that the banking sector as a whole is racist. On August 17th, 2021, Public Citizen sent in a press release that algorithmic racism was a major problem and that we need to start creating anti-racist algorithms. On December 23rd, 2020, Public Citizen tweeted that our healthcare system is a racist abomination. On April 7th, 2023, Public Citizen tweeted that expelling two Tennessee state reps for violating the legislature's rule was racism.
Everything's racism.
On April 15th, 2021, Public Citizen tweeted that law enforcement in this country has been overrun by racism.
Racism.
On June 25th, 2020, Public Citizen tweeted, racism is the reason D.C. is not a state. On January 15th, 2019, Public Citizen tweeted that asking about citizenship status on the census was racist. On August 24th, 2020, Public Citizen tweeted,
everything's
defund
racist.
our racist, hyper-militarized, murderous American police force.
Wow.
On
Eric,
July 10th,
I heard enough, Kirk. I think we get the point. Thanks. Eric Schmidt of Missouri, a senator, is questioning some, I guess, Democratic witness. And all we're talking about is racism. Look, we all know that there is prejudices amongst all of us. But racism is a little different, okay? I played ball my whole life. I didn't question whether someone was white or black or Puerto Rican. I mean, come on. There's more interracial marriages today than ever, not just in color, but in religion. And all I do is hear about racism. I'm sick and tired of what the Democrats are doing. So let me give you a few examples that I wrote down. Who votes to the left? Meaning a Democrat. Criminals, people who support criminals, sexual deviants, people who support sexual deviants, illegal aliens, people who support illegal aliens, people who prefer government benefits instead of working. I worked my tuchus off, didn't you? And I don't want to pay for anybody else, whether they're American citizens or not. Provide jobs, get off of your backside and go to work. People who make a living handing out government benefits, communists, socialists, and Islamists, drug addicts and homeless. Yeah, that's who the left supports. We basically live in a society where homosexuals lecture us on morals, transvestites lecture us on human biology, babysitters lecture us on human rights, and socialists lecture us on economics. I mean, let's take Senator John Kennedy when he says, "It strikes me as breathtakingly ironic that the people who are screaming so loudly about President Trump's decision to audit federal spending are the same people who wanted to hire 80,000 new IRS agents with guns to audit the American people." Do you remember that? Ha, isn't that true? How about this one? So when Obama's and Biden's DOJ went after Trump, we were told no one is above the law. That's what they did. They prosecuted this guy through the wazoo. But when Trump's DOJ goes after Democrats, suddenly it's called weaponization of justice. Did I get that right? How about this stuff that we lived through, this nonsense? We were lied to from the media about Biden's health, Hunter's laptop, January 6th, COVID, Epstein, Obama, Ukraine, voter fraud, Russian collusion, and much of everything in between. But trust us when we say Trump is a threat to our society. I mean, honest to God. I mean, when are we going to pay attention to the things that we've been lied to? I just want to leave you this thought before we took a break. And these numbers were sent to me, and I'm going to assume they're roughly accurate. If not, 855-839-1210. Call in. I'd love to hear from you. Bill Clinton, before he took office, $1.3 million. After leaving office, $2.41 million. How about Bush? $20 million. George Bush W., $40 million. Barack Obama, $1.3, $70 million. Donald Trump, $3 billion. He's now was worth less than that, somewhere around $2.5 million. And one more time, Joe Biden, $8 million, maybe $10 million. I don't know if the numbers are accurate, but I know one thing. One thing is that we have suffered over these last 4 years, and we continue to listen to the grief of the left. I'm sick of the left. As far as I'm concerned, they could put them on ships like they did the Vikings years ago and put them out to sea. You have been listening to the Barry Sable Show with Friends, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We'll be coming back with U.S. candidate, U.S. Not state Senate, U.S. Senate candidate Bob Lebovics. Let me get the name right. I always mess up everybody's name. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
$10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-535-1301. 800-535-1301. 800-535-1301.
If your kitchen has been on your to-do list for years, Kitchen Magic has news for you. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. This May is the month to finally do it. They're offering up to 30% off kitchen renovations, plus flexible financing designed to fit any budget. Kitchen Magic has been family-owned and operated in Nazareth, PA since 1979, and their team is ready to bring your dream kitchen to life. Don't wait another year. KitchenMagic.com. KitchenMagic.com, 30% off. Tell them Dawn Dawn sent you.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the energy of the Acura Integra. The energy of speed. With available Type S 320 horsepower VTEC turbo engine. And the energy of control. With available 6-speed manual transmission. The Acura Integra. This is the energy of innovation. Acura. Precision crafted performance.
Visit Piazza Acura of Ardmore, Reading, or Westchester for a test drive today.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Yes, indeed, I am back. Barry Sable in studio. Yeah, I'm here. I didn't call in. I'm here in the studio. I am pissed off. Gary Stam says to me, Uncle Barry's all riled up. Of course I'm all riled up. I can't play golf Saturday. I can't play golf Sunday. I can't play golf Monday. What the heck? It's raining. God's crying for us. Fix things. Cocaine was found at Biden's house. Dead body at Obama's house. A male prostitute at Pelosi's house. And an illegal server was found at Clinton's house. So the FBI raided Donald Trump's house. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Remember when Democrats, when the illegals that got shipped to Martha's Vineyard, the sanctuary state, they called the National Guard and had them all removed in 24 hours with absolutely no due process. Yeah, what do you think about that? Yeah, I'm all riled up. A little joke before I get to Bob. Madonna is 65. This is how society has transgressed and morphed into what? I don't know. Madonna is 65 and her boyfriend is 27. Cher is 77 and her boyfriend is 35. Ladies, if you're still single, just relax. Your boyfriend hasn't even been born yet. Ha! Listen, I need Dr. Bob Lebovics, who is running for U.S. Senate in New Jersey. He was on the show 2 weeks ago. We ran out of time. Bob, good morning. Yes, I'm riled up. See what you could do to unrile me. What is ailing New Jersey, my friend? Give it to me straight.
I'll give it to you straight, but first of all, thank you again, Mr. Sable, for inviting me to
Uncle Barry,
your show.
do you know Mr. Sable?
All right, Uncle Barry,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the invitation and the privilege.
Of course.
So let's get right to the point.
Yes.
New Jersey is unaffordable, and Washington is not fixing it. I don't think anybody would disagree with that premise. The current senator, who I plan to replace, has not been effective in fixing that. I don't think anyone can argue with that either. He's there approximately now 14 years, and basically things are getting worse. Let's look at the facts. Property taxes are going up faster than inflation.
Yep.
Our income tax burden in the state is going up faster than inflation. Energy costs are going up faster than inflation in unbelievable amounts. And on top of that, now we have a net out-migration of high earners and retirees. We have an in-migration of much younger people who, thank God, they come and most of them work, but they do not bring as much of a economic stimulus to the economy as those who have a lot of assets, retirement spending, and things that this economy needs. And frankly, we can use all the economic growth we can muster from the younger people, the middle-aged people, the older people, and that's really what's ailing New Jersey. We need to make New Jersey affordable again.
Yeah, well, let me say this much, okay? And, I was thinking over the weekend, and I said to myself, I pay a lot of money in taxes like a lot of people, and maybe rightfully so. I've worked pretty hard, I've been successful, and I've been fortunate, and I look at things that way. So much of my tax dollars goes where? So I look in the city of Philadelphia, and I say to myself, other than the skyline changing, which is to me individual investments, not state or federal, what has Philadelphia to offer in the last 20 years that's different? Some kind of amusement park or something like a World Disney situation, anything creative. Bob, I don't see anything embellishing the lives of Americans. I just don't see it. I don't see America, and we'll talk about Jersey if you want as well. What has been done in the state of New Jersey where I could say I'm proud of my state? Ungats, my friend.
Well, let's start. Let's start with, let's say, the Gateway Project, which has been talked about now for more than a dozen years or so.
Yep.
Supposedly it's been going for who knows how many years, and it hasn't happened. All I know is every time the costs go up by another $1 billion or $2 billion or $3 billion, they talk, and the costs go up. And the bottom line is try crossing the Hudson River on a normal morning, business day morning through the George Washington Bridge or the tunnels or the trains. It's impossible to cross this river. I think it's a interstate commerce nightmare for people who drive, who commute by trains. There are difficulties, there are safety issues with those train tunnels. Some of them are over 100 years old.
Yep.
And meanwhile, they talk and they fiddle and fiddle while the infrastructure burns and burns proverbially.
Yep. Listen, I found you to be an extremely educated guy. Why you want to run for Senate, for God's sakes, I don't really know. To me, I'd rather go fishing with you or play golf or do something interesting. I guess you have your own reasons, and you could surely tell me. But I complain constantly.
I'll make a confession. The
Go
way
ahead.
I play golf, you'd say I'm better off running for the Senate. That's probably the first thing.
Lessons. We're all having the same problems. But here's the point that I try and make. And I complain, and I've complained to you off the air. I don't think that the Republicans are doing a good enough job messaging. So therefore, I implore you, and even those running against you, to give us a better message. I think we have to do something for the people in the state of New Jersey, maybe similar to Florida. They don't have income tax. How about at 68? I mentioned this to you before. I mean, I'm a little older than that, but at 68, no state income tax. I mean, come on. Let somebody else work for it. You deserved it by that time. And if you are selling some assets off, you shouldn't get penalized at that late state of your life.
Well, there's definitely issues of income tax on both the federal level and the state level. If I'm not mistaken, the Internal Revenue Code, as written currently, is larger than the Old and the New Testament combined. Go figure that.
Yep.
People spend a lifetime in scholarship studying these Bible passages, and let's face it, they're not experts. How can any average Joe Blow, like me or like you, understand the code? All I know is every year I have to go through my accountant, I give him all the data, and the numbers are always, really, I have to pay that much? And that's what it is. And goes, yeah, that's the law. I comply. I can't say I do it joyfully, but I do it legally. So that's the first thing. The second thing, on the state level, I think there's a lot more wiggle room. And what I learned over the years living in Bergen County, that's in the north of Jersey for your South Jersey listeners, is that in order to affect change on any level, you need to do it from one level above. In other words, if you're worried about your trash collection or your dog catcher, you can't do that on your ward level. You have to go either to the city hall level or sometimes the county level. If you want county change, you have to go to the state level. And taking that concept further, the only way to affect the state, which means Trenton, the governor's office and the legislative officers, is to do it from the federal level. There's so many things that need to be changed, and you have not only a bully pulpit, but you have the ability to affect federal legislation with both sticks and carrots in order to affect policy. Yes, New Jersey is overtaxed on an income level, on a property tax level. I'll give you an example. They whine and they complain about the SALT deduction. When Cory Booker, if I'm not mistaken, last time the Democrats controlled the White House and the House and the Senate was during the Biden administration, at least the first 2 years, they could have fixed the SALT deduction then. Yeah. But you know why they couldn't do that? Because if they did that, they'd have less money to spend on who knows what else.
Of course.
There's in fiscal irresponsibility, number one. And Uncle Barry, I'm going to tell you what one of is the biggest and most cruel and dangerous and regressive taxes of all, and that's inflation. You know, the Social Security recipients, you know, they're talking about they're getting 2.5%, they're going to get 3% or 3.25%, who knows what. And meanwhile, the Medicare premiums are going to go up by 8, 9, or 10%. And for about 80 or 70% of the people in this country, their Medicare premiums come right off the top from their Social Security income. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So in the meantime, they're waiting for a little bone of a COLA increase, which does not really match inflation. Their Medicare premiums are going higher, and the cost of eggs, the cost of energy, their property taxes. I mean, it's outrageous. And I'll tell you what I would say. When you get to a certain age, you should be able to freeze your property taxes, or even earlier. They did that in California many years ago, and they're still whining about it.
Yeah, they whine
Think
about
about
everything in California. Homelessness all over the place. That state, there's nothing about that state right now other than it's beautiful. Listen, before time...
I'm going to go on. Let me tell you with this. When I win and go to Washington, I will go to the mat to get that SALT deduction back for us.
Yep.
And that's not going to be easy. But I'm going to tell you, before I go to the mat, I want to meet with the legislative leaders here. I want to meet with the governor, and I want to make a quid pro quo openly that if we get that back for this state, I want to see a 5-year property tax freeze in New Jersey, period. No talk, no gimmicks. That's the only way to give real tax relief to our people here.
Yeah,
because you know what's going to happen, Uncle Barry, if you get that SALT deduction back?
Tell me.
They're going to spend it in Trenton before they see the first dollar in.
Yeah.
And that's not the way to help our people. People work hard. And on you take out a 15 or a 30-year mortgage, you know what? Your costs are fixed for 15 or 30 years.
Yep.
When you're on a fixed income, all of a sudden, you mentioned at 68, now your property taxes are going up faster than anything else, and they're taxing people out of their homes. And it's wrong, it's immoral, it's un-American, and I'll do what I can to stop them, bring real tax relief.
There you go.
One more thing on this.
Tell me.
Everyone screams at billionaires. You know, well, I'm not even remotely in that category. But I'll tell you something. I want to bring billionaires back here, and I want them to pay taxes, and not on punitive levels, but the same levels that all of us do. And let those billionaires buy properties, buy goods and services, invest in the community, and bring things back here and make New Jersey great again, because it really is and should be.
Listen, before I leave you go, and I agree with you, before I leave you go, tell us how you're campaigning. We've got 3 or 4 minutes left. Tell the listeners how you're campaigning and what's kind of like a little different between you and the other guys.
Well, the other guys, I've had the privilege of meeting all of them, and I think they're all fine, decent people. I have nothing personal against them, and speaking to them, they all have good ideas. But this election, this campaign number one, is not about me versus the other 3 candidates. It's about who is best positioned to beat Cory Booker in November, because that's the goal.
Yes.
He's also a nice guy. I don't think he's an evil person. I think he's decent. He means well, but his policies are ineffective. My favorite line, which you're going to hear a lot in my campaign, is when I quote the famous Nobel laureate Albert Einstein, where he said, you know what's the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over and then expecting a different result. If you're happy with a Social Security system that's going insolvent in 6 years, you vote for him.
That's right.
If you're happy with your co-pays and your co-insurances going astronomically through the roof and waiting 9 hours in the emergency room to see a nurse practitioner,
Yeah, nuts.
and to get a $12,000 bill for a cut or you're happy with that, you vote for him. He supported the Affordable Care Act, or continues to do that. If you're happy with the educational system in this state, absolutely. You know, if you're very wealthy and can afford private schools, God bless you. But we need what I call my educational equality program, where the dollars now go back to the parents and not the Board of Education. Your zip code should not determine your ability to succeed in life, but your God-given abilities for whatever you have, whether it's in professional sports or whether it's in the trades or whether it's in the professions or whatever you choose. Every American child deserves a future that he can be proud of and look forward to, and the parents can say, wow, this is what America is all about.
Yep, there you go, Bob Lebovics. I can't get it right. Lebovics? Did I get it right?
Dr. Bob Lebovic.
There you go. Running for not state Senate, for U.S. Senate of New Jersey, of course. And I'll leave you with this thought. June 2nd, by the way, is the primaries. Am I correct?
Yes, this June 2nd, the early voting opens up very soon. Many people got mail-in ballots. I ask anybody listening, whether you're in North Jersey, South Jersey, or Central Jersey, to consider hard. Vote for me because I'm on your side. I'm doing this not because I need it. It's because I want to. I have a little secret. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for my grandchildren. I'm doing it for all of the people in this state, their grandchildren, because that's who we have to think about. It's about the future.
Yep.
I'll leave you with one thought, which I was told is an Amish philosophy, which I really believe, is that we don't inherit the land from our parents, but we hold it in trust for our children.
I love
and
that.
that's where I'm coming from.
And I want to leave you with one thought. I know you know this. Don't come to this country and ask for the American dream if you're not willing to obey American laws and embrace the American culture. Listen, Dr. Bob, I wish you the best of luck on June 2nd. I know that you would do a great job in Washington. There's a lot of people that are pulling for you, and Uncle Barry's pulling for you, too. We are listening to you are listening to the Barry Sable Show with Friends. Talk Radio, 1210 WPHT. Back with Tom Azelby, Dr. Bob Lebovics. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Philadelphia, we've got a problem. Home care is in crisis and there aren't enough caregivers to meet the demand. So if you've got a loved one with Medicaid and needs care, don't wait. Freedom Care was built for this moment. We help you get care at home from someone you already trust. A family member or friend who can get paid to help with everyday needs like meals, medication, bathing, and mobility. If you have Medicaid, it's 100% free to you. No waiting lists. Just real care from your people right now. Freedom Care handles it all: training, payroll, and support, so you can stay safe and comfortable at home, and your caregiver gets paid after every shift, guaranteed. With 97% satisfaction and over 150 million hours of care delivered, Philly families are already making the switch to care at home. Take care of your own and get paid with Freedom Care. Call 267-489-1601. That's 267-489-1601. Call now. 267-489-1601. 267-489-1601.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Yes, indeedy, I am back. Barry Sable on a rainy Sunday morning. For God's sakes, give us a break one of these Memorial Day weekends. Capitalism only works by spreading to more of the population what used to be the privilege of a few. Free choice is ultimately what life is about. Good conservatives always pay their bills, unlike socialists who just run up other people's. Listen, I love this guy. This guy has become a friend. I love listening to him from Saturday 8 to 9. Always special, always a treat. And I got to tell you the truth. I wish that I could tape our conversations off the air. We go at it like cats and dogs. Tom Hazelby, thanks for joining me this morning.
How are you, Barry? Good morning.
I'm doing great. I know that you had a banged-up Wednesday night because, you know, Monday and Tuesday I had the same. We were both on filling in. I guess Sterling has left us and gone to better horizons and pastures in New York. We did a late show 10 to 1. That is some show, is it not, to perform?
Yeah, well, it's late night, so you definitely have a different listener breed, I would assume. But you know what I like about it? It gives you escape from politics. So yes. I like bringing on guests like you did. You talked about Philadelphia and all the people that were part of that. And I like bringing on interesting guests from like adventure to life to culture to science. You know, you can kind of mix it up late at night, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. The problem is the next day, you are I don't know about you. I'm a zombie the next day. And I have to tell you the truth, 2 days in a row, frankly, I didn't get out of bed till like 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. That's a tough chore to do, but it was absolutely fun. And yes, it gives you an opportunity to get away from politics. So let me crush on you this morning. You know how I feel about teachers. We've talked about this off the air, and you know how I feel about insane asylums. So I want to tack those two things with you. Why do teachers have the privilege of working 9 months out of the year and the rest of us work 12 months when our students are failing in school? Explain that to me. Why they couldn't hang around, tutor, and absolutely, if you don't pass your grades, then you need to go to summer school, Tom. We need to improve the intellect of our kids.
Yeah, teachers could teach, if there were 15 months in the year, teachers could teach 15 months of the year. It's a broken system in the public schools, especially in Philadelphia. The teachers are not the issue. It's a broken system. It has no free market incentives.
Yep.
They teach like it's still 1950 in the classroom. And then they're not, it's ineffective. There's not enough discipline. Philadelphia, especially. I mean, where 70%, I believe, of the grade school kids, 70% do not read or do math at a proficient level. And I think it cost about 32, and I'm throwing these numbers out because I did a show on it a while ago.
Go ahead. You're right.
It's about $32,000 a year. The bottom line is the old way of teaching kids in the public schools is over. AI is probably far more effective at teaching kids, but they're expensive schools. But all the money that's sloshing around in the public school system, which is really about, union teachers, administrators, and superintendents, you could build the greatest school system in America, but it would be driven by the free market. It's hard to do, but there are things you can do around the edges. In Florida, for example, I get $9,000 back a year, and there's no they don't measure it based on what your assets or your money is. Everyone, if you send your kid to a private school, that doesn't have to be. It could be religious, non-religious. The state of Florida gives you $9,000. Every kid that elects to go to a private school in Florida saves the taxpayer in Florida close to $4,000. Never mind all the infrastructure with all the flooded people moving here, which were a lot of middle-class people. It's not all rich people moving to Florida. So you're actually saving the state and the taxpayer money every time you give that $9,000. Believe it or not, because it costs them $4,000 to $5,000 more to educate a kid. And this is the one thing that the teachers union would never want you to hear. The test scores in the public schools in Florida are going up after the voucher program. They always said they would destroy all the public schools. Hasn't happened. They've taken the pressure off the public schools, so now they can focus their resources, and their test scores are going up. So that's all good news.
Yeah, but you and I always off the air. Unfortunately, we go at it, and we have a lot of fun doing it. Listen, you look at the world and as half full, and I look at it as half empty. I'm the type of guy that says, like, I'm a baseball player. I don't look at I hit a home run, this and that. I think about why I struck out twice with the home run. How could I do better with that? So I ask of you, why can't we have teachers work more, pay them a little bit more, work more, and get a better result? And I got to tell you, AI scares me. I'm going to do a show on AI one of these days, and I know that we all look at things and making things easier. But with all of these services, dumbing down people, and AI, you can't get anybody on a phone. Good luck. Can't get a doctor's office on a phone. Good luck. Social services are hurting. Good luck. Kids can't add and subtract. Good luck because of computers and everything else and calculators. We have morphed into something different, and I'm not so sure it's as better as you think it is. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Well, the first thing with teachers, if you have a teacher or a ball player or a salesman or anyone in your company, if the system's broken, by making them stick around in the office and paying them more, that's not going to fix anything. So you got to change the system. And if you don't change the system.
Do we do that in society? Tell me one thing that hasn't been Band-Aided over that's been fixed that you're satisfied with.
My point is, I'm a big believer in breaking the system, not managing it or trying to put Band-Aids on it. I say change the whole thing. I'm not a supporter of public schools at all. I actually believe that if you open this up to entrepreneurs, the amount of money that people would get into the education system, they could change the education, and with all different flavors of it. Not everyone doing the same thing. There would be so much innovation, Barry, your head would explode.
Well, listen, all I can tell you is that we all travel, and I go back and forth to Florida, too. You know I'm looking to move to Florida. With this DEI nonsense, okay? We see planes crashing into each other. We see Spirit Airlines was shut down unnecessarily because of the left. They manipulated that whole thing. I want to touch base with you. I'll let you comment quickly, but I do want to touch base with you before you leave me, is the sane asylums. We have so many kookaboos walking the streets. You saw yesterday some guy tried to take shots at the White House. We've seen the kid on the roof. We've seen all this stuff, Tom. I'm not used to this and living like this. Why have we gotten rid of the Byberries of the world? We know we have a problem with mental health, and we're not addressing it. Why not?
Well, this started a long time ago. It was back in the 1970s where they decided that, the politicians decided, and a lot of those places were hellholes too.
Yep.
They decided that people could be treated by pharmaceuticals and they could live at home, and they thought it would work. But here's an interesting statistic, because I based on your text, I thought you wanted to talk about this, is there was a population of 300,000 people in the 1970s that were institutionalized, right? Mm-hmm. Today, there's about 38,000 that are institutionalized, but the population growth from 1970, it's 50-something years. We probably should have about 700,000 to maybe 800,000 based on population growth that are people that are in some type of institution, but we have 38,000. So,
and I think that number's light, my friend. I'd like to know where you get those statistics from. I see more goofballs walking on the street doing crazy things and homelessness.
Well, let me tell you,
Tom.
Barry, you're not. Listen, that's called anecdotal. You're not walking around the street making national estimates. That's the estimate that they believe, and the people making it are not trying to tone the number down. They're telling. I just pointed out that it's a problem. That's a lot of people. If you got close to 1 million people that should be institutionalized, that's a lot. Now, if you're in the city of Philadelphia walking around, there's drug addicts and alcoholics, and some might not even have mental illness. They might just be addicted. But, yes, you're going to see more in Philadelphia than you see walking out in the suburbs of out in King of Prussia. It's just the environment you're in.
Let me ask you a question.
There are a lot. I agree with you.
Yeah, too many people. And everybody's high. With all these places that open up dispensaries, I mean, to be honest with you, I get it. I really get it. Someone just follow the money. Everybody. I walk into a casino, I smell it. I walk into a sporting event, I smell it. I'm on the street, I smell it. Yo, Tom, I mean, if you want to be that cavalier about society, people are driving high. I mean, if that's how it's going to be, there's going to be negative results from that. This isn't doom and gloom. This is just reality.
Yeah, I mean, the states that have adopted, the marijuana policy down here in Florida, you don't smell it as much because all the people in the state of Florida voted against it. I think they're doing it the old-fashioned way. They're getting their weed and they, smoke it in their homes privately. And I have a lot of libertarian leanings. I'm all for that. But once you start letting the government get into the money-making business of marijuana, it's going to be everywhere. And quite frankly, the studies on it, with the amount of TCH or whatever that's in it, it's so powerful, and kids are taking it, and they said there are some developmental studies going on that this is really bad for kids' brains. Never mind adults, but bad for kids' brains. So I'm not a big listen, I like the old days when these small farmers were growing weed in their backyards and on their farms, and they were sending their kids to college, and they were selling it on the black market illegally. And there were a lot of people doing that in America. And then the government came in with all the regulations and who could do it. Big money, Wall Street. They ruined it, and now you got to smell weed every 10 feet in Philadelphia.
Tom
but that's the way it is.
I'm up against the break Saturday mornings, 8 to 9. I love talking to you on the air. You know that. Not as much as off the air. Maybe off the I don't know which, but both. Listen, thanks for joining me and spending time with me. This Memorial Day, I want to wish you and your wife and your family a happy holiday.
Have a great holiday, Barry. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, my brother. Let's go to break, Kirk. I screwed up here a little too long. But, hey, I got Hazelby on the line. You have to take time. He's an interesting fella.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Find unbeatable savings during Ashley's Memorial Sale. Save up to 20% on all Ashley furniture or enjoy 60 months no-interest financing with no minimum purchase. These Memorial Day deals won't last, so now's the time to upgrade. Shop today at Ashley.
If you're suffering from burning, tingling, or numb feet, you need to pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Thomas Oliver of Oliver Wellness Center. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage to the feet and legs.
And what are the symptoms?
The major symptoms are pain, numbness, tingling, burning, muscle cramps, coldness in the hands and feet, and problems with balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It is absolutely treatable, and we can get great results.
Call 856-347-0032 today to schedule a nerve damage screening. Your nerve damage screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our innovative treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe there's nothing that can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even with amputations. Call 856-347-0032. The first 25 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 856-347-0032.
Air conditioner, oh air conditioner, will you make it through the summer? If you don't, it'll be a bummer. Start your spring off right. We got huge rebates if that budget's tight. This is Jonathan Cans, and I am not a poet. I am, however, the third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. We are the mainline's oldest family-owned HVAC company, and we are not private equity-owned. But we are experts in rebates, big ones. And right now, there are up to $2,300 in rebates available. Contact us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinekans.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
You can now tune in to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Yes, indeedy, I am back. You are listening, as you know, to the Barry Sable Show with Friends. I want to thank Dr. Bob, who is running for, as we all know, U.S. Senate. We wish him well on June 2nd. Hazelby, I love having on the air. He's so smart. And we have fun together. He's a valued friend, and I love listening to his thoughts. I only have a few minutes left, so I want to stray away from politics. I want to read you a few things that are sentimental to me on this Memorial Day, even though it's not Mother's Day. You only have one mom. 5 years old. Mom, I love you. 12 years old. Mom, I can't stand you. 16 years old. My mother is so annoying. 18 years old. I'm leaving this house. 25 years old. Mom, you were right. 30 years old. I want to go to my mom's house. 50 years old. I don't want to lose my mother. 70-year-old. I would give up everything to have my mom with me right now. My mom was so special. She loved being a mom to 3 kids. I'll never forget. I was 6 years old. I'll never forget this. And and my mom took me to see Pinocchio, and we're 10 minutes into the movie, and I said, "Mom, could you change the channel?" That to me was funny. I didn't know at the time. Who the heck wanted to watch Pinocchio? I want to read you another quick one. These things are important to me. I cried 15 minutes after reading this. One day your parents will become your children. Not your age, not in age, but in need. There will come a time when they forget things you just told them. When they move slower, ask the same question twice, and need help with what used to be easy. Don't see it as a burden. See it as a debt of love being paid back. Our prayers won't be here forever. When they start to need you like you once needed them, don't get frustrated. Be their strength while they still have the chance. Pretty interesting stuff. I learned so much from my dad. My dad actually drafted me at the age of 12. Can I tell you something? And took me in the jewelry business after winning a bowling championship with my friends. I said, Dad, I'm 12. I don't have to go to work. He said, yes, you do. What am I going to tell my friends? We want to repeat. He said, tell them to go find another bowler. I'll never forget that. My dad was tough with tough love, but he loved me, and he made me successful today. What I would call successful. Listen, I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. I want to thank my guests this morning for joining me.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of